Today, the Pokemon Company had its now what I'm assuming is going to be a yearly press conference. Last year, they announced Pokemon Quest that made its Shadow Drop onto Switch, then later on in a month or two on mobile devices with Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, with an awesome trailer, in my opinion, of those two games being announced. And of course, the announcement of Generation 8 coming at a later date than what they expected at first. This year was nothing like that. Don't get me wrong, they talked about games, but they also talked about other things as well that, to be honest, things that I don't really care about covering. I just care about talking about the games. But if you think they talked about the anime, more of the upcoming movie, Pokemon trading cards, games like Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness 2, Pokemon Stadium 3, Pokemon Conquest 2, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Snap, and of course Generation 4 Remake. And of course they already said they're not going to be talking about Generation 8 since that'll be next week. If you thought that they were going to be talking about any of those games I just mentioned, you are wrong. They didn't talk about anything like that. What they did announce, though, was kind of cool, but at the exact same time, just really, really, really dumb. The really cool thing that they announced, but also it really simplifies capturing all the Pokemon for the National Pokedex in Generation 8, and probably even going forward, is Pokemon Home. It's a cloud-based storage capacity unit, if that makes sense. It's just like Pokemon Bank, but it's going to be stored in the cloud. So I'm guessing you might need a Nintendo Switch Online to access that, which it's $20 a year here in the United States. So you should get one. Just saying, it's really cool. But the cool thing with this is that your Pokemon for the Pokemon Bank, Pokemon Go, and I believe Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and Pokemon Sword and Shield can all be stored into Pokemon Home, where all the Pokemon kind of live together in harmony, non-harmony. I have no idea. I don't really care. They can just all be together. So the really cool thing with this Venn diagram, as you see on the screen right here, is that Pokemon from Pokemon Sword and Shield cannot be transferred over into Pokemon Go, Let's Go, or even the Pokemon Bank, since they are newer Pokemon, and of course, the coding is not in all the games to support those Pokemon, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So, if you think that, oh, I'm really smart, I can put all my Gen 8 Pokemon from Pokemon Sword and Shield to Home to Let's Go, or to Go even, no, that's not going to happen at all. You're just going to be putting them into Home, and then maybe take them back into Pokemon Sword and Shield, if that makes sense. It was really cool, but yet again, I feel like completing the National Pokedex, and whatever ways they have you doing that for this generation, is going to be much more simplified. It's going to be much more easier to do. And maybe that's not a bad thing, but for me, it's just, where is the challenge? For someone who I have caught all 493 back in Generation 4, and the different forms for the Pokemon that have them, I'm looking at you, Gastrodon, and Burmy, and all of them. That was a huge, huge challenge that it costed me hundreds of hours of gameplay, but it was a challenge that I was happy to accomplish. This, it could be challenging, it could not be challenging. I hope that they do new things with the National Pokedex. If not, it's going to be really, really easy, especially with Pokemon Go and Pokemon Bank, with all the Pokemon I have stored up in that unit, moving them over to Pokemon Home. Also, Pokemon Home has this feature, I want to say, that you can trade Pokemon from Pokemon Home globally through the internet, through a friend if they're right next to you, or people who are nearby. I don't know if that includes Pokemon Go, because I remember Niantic saying when, I don't know if it was when trading was about to come out, or when people were talking about trading, that they don't want trading to be globally because it would just ruin the game. Now maybe the Pokemon Company is telling them, no, you need to trade globally in Pokemon Go through Pokemon Home. Maybe Pokemon Go might be somewhat broken if this is implied to Pokemon Go. I have no idea. That'd be really cool though, because I do believe that you should be able to trade Pokemon in Pokemon Go or Pokemon Home. You should be able to trade them globally and get new ones into Pokemon Go. Say, for example, I don't have a Carnivine or Pachirisu or even a Chatot in Pokemon Go, but if someone's willing to trade me one of them for Tauros or Kangaskhan or something like that, Pokemon that I have, totally, I would gladly give those up for one of those Pokemon. I think that'd be really, really cool. There might be some I don't know, some caveats to that, I guess. Maybe Niantic can implement some rules, like maybe it's a lot of Stardust, like 2 million or 4 million or 5 million Stardust. I don't know. but hopefully not. I don't really like the whole thing about Stardust, like how much Stardust you have to spend to trade Pokemon with someone who you're not ultra or even best friends with, but that's a whole nother discussion for another time. Speaking of Niantic, John Hankey was there. I just think it's kind of funny. Pokemon press conference to me is more, it should be more about like the anime, the trading cards, and even like the games as well, not just Pokemon Go. It seems like there's such a huge push to talk about Pokemon Go in this that I kind of find it strange, because majority of the Pokemon Go fan base, this is just an assumption, is they only play Pokemon Go. They might jump on Let's Go, but they only play Pokemon Go, and they're not going to be watching something like this, because when you think of, you know, Pokemon business press conference or business strategy or business presentation, whatever the main title was called, they're probably being like, oh, there's nothing to do with Pokemon Go. There was nothing to imply that Pokemon Go was going to be at this press conference, so I kind of felt like they should have maybe said that to get more people watching. But anyway, John Hankey, the CEO of Niantic, the creators of Pokemon Go, was there, and him and other presenters, they talked about a new feature. It might, I don't know how this is going to happen. I believe it's Select Button, the makers of Magic Carpet Jump. They're making what is called Pokemon Sleep. It's like Pokemon Go. Instead of tracking your walking distance and how much you've walked for the day, your exercise, your activity, they're going to be trying to track your sleep. Now, I have no idea how this will be implemented into Pokemon Go, because they said that it will be, and I have no idea what the rewards would be. Maybe just a medal, and maybe just like a, hey, congrats, you did it, you know. Maybe. Or maybe down the road, since I know Gen 5 has a sleeping Pokemon, or a Pokemon that has to do with sleep, that they could implement that Pokemon by doing, or by using Pokemon Sleep. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this is just a dumb idea, but the more I think about it, I'm like, man, I have really bad insomnia. That'd be really cool to track my sleep and see how many hours of sleep I get, and see if I like toss and turn and maybe all the meters and stuff like that. But I kind of feel like that's maybe overthinking it, and then it turns to a health app that I really don't want on my phone. I don't know. I'm hoping that this is a cool feature that in Pokemon Go, it could be implemented in really, really cool ways. That it's not just a dumb feature that's used probably for a couple months, and then people are like, oh, okay, it's over, you know. Hopefully it's a cool feature, but the way that they talked about it throughout this whole press conference was really, really annoying. They kept saying that, like, yes, now we're done talking. This is as far as we're going to talk about sleep. All right, the next presenter is going to talk more about sleep, and just like, whoa, what are you guys doing? Like, you said you're done talking about sleep, you know, just pump the brakes. Like, weird feature, but hopefully, I'm praying to God that it's a cool feature that can be used to maybe help transform my life and my sleeping habits. Like I said, I've really, not really bad, but I have bad insomnia to the point where I can't get to bed at a average time. Actually, right now it's funny because I'm recording this at 11:17 p.m. when I should probably be in bed. So maybe this feature will help me maybe fall asleep a bit faster, and maybe even get me excited to go to bed. Or maybe it could help cure depression. Don't know, I've seen that joke kind of around Twitter here and there, but hopefully it's a cool feature. And that was pretty much the whole press conference in a nutshell. I mean, they did announce with Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Go Plus Plus, a terrible name. They should have just called it Pokemon Go Plus Ultra or Super, or Ultra Super HD Remix Edition, Tiger, Cypher, Alpha, Beta, you know, what Capcom does. I feel like Pokemon Go Plus Plus is a Square Enix name. I feel like Square Enix was involved in this somehow. It looks like a giant frisbee. It looks like a Pokemon or Pokeball Go Plus. Pokeball Plus is what they're called. It looks like it got flattened if someone like kind of sat on it. Cool device, but hopefully I can use Pokemon Sleep just with my phone. And of course, they also announced a little bit about like a shopping mall coming to Tokyo, I believe. Or, excuse me, a Pokemon Center in a shopping mall coming to Tokyo. It was cool, but yet again, nothing for us here in the United States or worldwide, unless they're probably expanding more and more and more on Pokemon Centers, which those are really cool stores. I would love to visit one day. And then they announced that, I believe it's someone in the movie business in Japan. He's going to be become an external board member of the board of directors of the Pokemon Company. So it's cool that maybe the Pokemon Company is focusing more on a cinematic universe in the Pokemon universe, which, to be honest, we all saw that one coming. And that was pretty much the Pokemon press conference. They did mention that the Pokemon Stitches shirts, the $200 button-up shirts, or even like Hawaiian shirts, the overpriced one, that some Pokemon have really cool designs. They're coming to Japan and other parts of the country, other countries in the world, excuse me, because they're only based around the United States and Europe, I believe. But that was pretty much the Pokemon press conference. I thought it was weird. Yeah, next week is Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. I would definitely be talking about that, giving out reactions. That's 8 o'clock in the morning, June 5th. 8 o'clock in the morning for me, 6 a.m. Pacific time. I believe it's a.m. I could be wrong. It might be p.m. But yes, that one is going to be the big meat and potatoes. I believe it's a week before E3. So, next week, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, Pokemon Direct. Cannot wait. I want to see more Generation 8. Show us the Legendary. Show us the Gym Masters that I believe it was Nintendo of America tweeted out, then they had to delete it like seconds or even minutes later. Show us all of that before E3, because when E3 comes, when it comes to Nintendo, Pokemon I may not be focusing that much on. It might be Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem, Super Mario Maker, Link's Awakening, and other type of games. So, if you guys did like this video, make sure to give it a like, make sure to subscribe, smash that bell, all that kind of stuff. And until then, I'll see you guys on the next video. Wait. I forgot 2 announcements. Pokemon Detective Pikachu, it sounds like the second season, or the sequel to the first one, is coming to the Switch. Hopefully the first season, or the first one, whatever they call it, will also come to the Switch, so for us who didn't play it on the 3DS, we can get the full story on the Switch. The last announcement I totally forgot, and that it is an amazing, it looks like an amazing game. It's called Pokemon Masters. Pokemon Masters is the DNA game that I believe was announced a couple weeks ago that they were making a game. I believe that this is it. It is pretty much I don't think it's turn-based. It could be, but you're pretty much fighting alongside your favorite Pokemon characters, like Misty, Brock, Cynthia. In the artwork, there is Lance. It looks like there is Red, Blue. So there's going to be a lot of characters that you can fight alongside with. They didn't show that much. They'll probably show more at E3. So yeah, Pokemon Masters is probably the only somewhat good, or even just good, announcement over this Pokemon press conference. Until then, see you guys on the next video.